All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host, Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a fight review. So, we're going to Miami, Florida for Combate Global's all ladies event on August 12th. We're going to the Flyweight division. Tyler Schaefer coming in at 1 and 2, taking on Aitana Alvarez coming in at 1 and 3. Now, I realize not the prettiest of records for these two ladies coming in. However, having seen their previous fights, I knew that we were at least in for a fun one. So let's get down into it. All right, first round, Alvarez took the center. Schaefer was circling on the outside. Now, Alvarez struck to the clinch, but Schaefer was able to dump her. But Alvarez was right back up and on her. There was an exchange of positions in the clinch on the fence for a little bit, but the referee decided he had seen enough and separated them. From there, Alvarez basically stalked her, striking as she came forward. Schaefer kept trying to circle out and get back to the center, but really wasn't able to. Alvarez clinched, got a nice knee, and worked for takedowns later in the first round. So let's move on to the second round. Alvarez again forced Schaefer outside. Schaefer was stuck circling on the outside. Some nice low kicks landing for both of them. Alvarez was actually using her reach really well, which is nice to see in MMA. Too many fighters, they have the height and the reach, but they don't know how to use it. Alvarez clinched, got a nice outside trip takedown against the cage. And the way Schaefer was, it was pretty nice to watch because Schaefer had her back right up against the cage, and Alvarez just hooked her right leg around Schaefer's left leg, pulled it out, got that outside trip straight down, and Alvarez went straight into mount. Now, Schaefer was able to get out of the mount. She was able to work her way out of the mount, but Alvarez kept her trapped against the cage. Schaefer was kind of like stuck in half guard on her butt against the cage. Alvarez tried the rear naked choke, gave it up to land some ground and pound, and she kind of went back and forth between, the striking and the submission attempts. But Schaefer was just absolutely trapped against the cage on her butt. She just could not get up from there. Eventually, Alvarez just started pouring on the left-hand punches. The referee gave Schaefer every chance, but eventually he saw enough and decided to stop it. The official time was 3 minutes, 41 seconds of the second round for your winner via TKO, Aitana Alvarez. So, like I said, fun fight. The ladies didn't have the prettiest records, and the fight itself wasn't the prettiest, wasn't the most aesthetically pleasing, but it was plenty of fun, and that's what I like about Combate Global. Anyway, like I mentioned earlier, Alvarez used her length and reach well. When she has room to get off her strikes at range, does it very well. You just see so often, and not just in the ladies in MMA, but in the men as well, they'll have a height advantage, a length and reach advantage, and they just don't use it. But Alvarez, when she has that range, she'll use it, which is nice to see. Now, Schaefer, she was just absolutely stuck on the outside. She kept circling around and circling and circling, trying to get back into the inside, but she just didn't have the footwork to really get back out of there. And it didn't help that she just kept circling basically in the same direction. Big improvement for Alvarez. She got the position, and she didn't let off until the finish. Last fight I watched of hers when she fought Maritza Sanchez, she just kept getting overwhelmed in close and couldn't, really get going. Whereas in this fight, soon as, she got the advantage, she took it, stayed on her opponent, and did not let off until the finish. Okay, so excuse me. Let's talk things to work on for Alvarez. I'd like to see her cut off the cage a little bit better with Schaefer. Schaefer just kept circling. Eventually, Alvarez would catch her, but I'd like to see her work on her cage cutting a little more. For Schaefer, her positioning against the cage, she just let Alvarez get her straight, flat up against the cage, and she had, no real balance to her, no base to her. to stop that trip takedown. So she's got to work on her positioning and getting her base up against the cage like that. Also, I'd like to see her, work on her footwork a little better when she's circling around the outside. Instead of just going one direction, switch up directions, go a different direction, or, fake out your opponent sometimes. For fights to make, I'm just going to go with Alvarez on this one. I'd like to see her take on Jillian Knoll. Jillian Knoll is currently, 2-2, but she is the number 7 flyweight in Combate Global, while Alvarez is currently the number 8. So it's a small step up the rankings. Not too big, but should make for a good fight. So anyway, those are my thoughts on this one. Aitana Alvarez defeating Tyler Schaefer via TKO in the second round at Combate Global. This was their all-ladies event from this past Friday. So if you have a chance to go check it out, please do so. Looking forward to seeing what Alvarez does next. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the fight in the comments down below. If you liked the video, please give it the thumbs up and share it as well. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to WMMAC Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.